vividly think that irony sinks you wickedly falling apart. Dazzled by grace, sound in your face, sense of it all is unnervingly sharpened. Rid of it all, crawl till you fall. And I know what awaits, no common faith. Your mind will be thicker and sticky to those who know how it goes. Is drawn by a ball as someone who's pleading for you to come close and try and be gone. Try and get lost again. Will to survive a live cause you die. Learning by doing is better than not. You know how you fought to flee from the plot. You're working your way to avoid getting caught. And time to be rough, time to adjust again. Who took the blame? Who feels ashamed? Who needs to flee while the rest reach in pain? A multiple cry is shredding the sky. An infinite number not ready to die. And where could we go? Is there a way out there? Survive again. I see the end. It's drawing near. It's drawn by. No time for debate. Already too late to eliminate our own devastate. Our time is up. We set the fate. The fight with nothing. We picked up our fate. And it was a call. We have spoiled our chances now. A single sound will tear the ground. It sings will. A billion souls will tear a hole to fall through. Fly away, you fool, you should fly away to the hill, to the moon, to the sky. I'll fly fast, don't fail, just try. We did wrong, much too wrong, should have seen it all along. Time to flee while you can, time to understand. We spoiled our chance completely.
Good evening and welcome back to Jerusalem or thereabouts where Queen Gerhild of Jerusalem is currently looking to her east and wondering where she can go next, and in particular whether the Najadids can sensibly be pushed out of Iraq so that she can found the Empire of Outremer, which is like what I'm trying to achieve at the moment. So in the last session, Queen Gerhild had a very boring time for quite a while as she had various truces expiring, and then managed to find a gap in the wars that the Banu al-Furat Sultanate was engaged in with, well, frankly, most of Queen Gerhild's vassals, and usurped the kingdom of Syria off the Sultan. And the consequence of that was that suddenly the former Sultan of Syria was now like a wali in some tiny place down here. I can't remember quite where. Might have been that mosque, but I'm not sure. Anyway, and all of the emirs who were previously under him were now independent, which meant that there was a vast number of little emirates that Gerhild didn't have a truce with, which was fine and an excellent opportunity. But of course there were also a vast number of little emirates that her neighbour Queen Adalberta of Africa also didn't have a truce with. So this thus led to the situation where Gerhild rather needed to seize these territories off the various emirs before her neighbour in Africa did. Because while Gerhild has an alliance with Africa, that really means that they won't attack one another, and indeed will help one another, and doesn't at all mean they won't race one another to try to occupy territory that suddenly becomes conveniently available. And so Gerhild essentially attacked every little emirate down the Red Sea in the hope that would stop Africa immediately crossing the Red Sea and claiming them all. She actually should have gone for Medina as well, because while Medina isn't itself coastal, it's part of, that's the wrong button, the de jure Emirate of Hijaz, and Hijaz is coastal, and so Egypt can actually start a holy war against Medina. So probably quite soon Queen Gerhild needs to declare war on Medina as well. And like she should probably be looking at the Ziyadid Sultanate soon, though they're at least, like, I don't know if they have a convenient truce with Africa. Where is the capital of Africa still Fustat? Yes. No, she has a truce with Prince Ghazi of the Banu al-Furat kingdom, but the Banu al-Furat kingdom no longer really exists, in that the Queen of Syria is now Gerhild. So she doesn't in particular have a truce with the Ziyadids, so there is a slight danger she might go after them, because I think she's right next to them. She's certainly entitled to holy war them in general, and is probably entitled to holy war them in respect of Taiz, which we would quite like. Actually, probably she can go all the way that far if she wants, that all the way out there if she wants to. But maybe she doesn't. Maybe Adalbert has better things to do. So another thing I did last session was to try to arrange to inherit the Duchy of Sinai into our kingdom by persuading the eldest son of the current Duke that he wanted to come to Jerusalem and have a duchy of his own in Tripoli. It turns out this doesn't work, because the crown authority of Africa is high enough that you're not actually allowed to inherit, that no one outside of the kingdom is allowed to inherit land inside it. And so while Duke Athelwyn rather, is quite happily the Duke of Tripoli, he is not the heir to the Duchy of Sinai anymore, because the heir to the Duchy of Sinai is now his little brother. Yes, is now his little brother Alaric. So that was a slight failure, really. Alaric, I would observe, is currently in Duke Athelwyn's court. Oh, sorry, no, it's not his brother, it's his son. Yes, Athelwyn's son, Alaric, is now heir to the Duchy of Sinai. Jerusalem also has high crown authority, which has the entertaining consequence that if Alaric inherits Sinai, he won't be able to inherit Tripoli. And so Tripoli will presumably skip that generation and go down to Alaric's firstborn son. And we will have this weird bounce generation skipping duchies or something. This also means that at some point, if Gerhild wants to bring Sinai into her realm, she is going to have to do something to get it off Africa, and I don't quite know what. Because going to war with Africa is a bit scary. Maybe she needs to encourage the Duke of Sinai to rebel. Maybe she should get an alliance with the Duke of Sinai and then encourage him to rebel. That would, of course, be easier if she had some convenient way to marry someone to one of his relatives, which she doesn't, because she is celibate and has precisely one daughter who is already married. So, what state are we in now then? What are we actually trying to do? Now that I've given you a quick recap of where we are. We just finished that last batch of holy wars, so as is often the way, Queen Gerhild has a pile of things in her domain that she really ought to get out. And as usual, I'm just going to create new vassals for all of the cities and temples. But not for the castles. Actually, I wonder if, should Mecca be a theocracy? Should I raise the bishopric of Mecca to be Prince Bishopric of Mecca? Feels kind of appropriate and kind of horrifically inappropriate.
Well, I mean, you're playing the Crusader Queen.
Yes.
And therefore, character, it's horrifically appropriate. It's also horrifically inappropriate on a meta level.
Right, Prince Bishop Fella of Mecca. Maybe we amuse ourselves by granting him the whole duchy so he controls Medina as well. I mean, we don't really have a candidate duke for that area. And he's got at least some martial skill.
And also, I mean, if you're giving isn't Medina one of the holy places for the Muslims?
Yes.
Therefore, if we reduce their fervour and so on, I've forgotten the words.
Possibly. I think I may have to create the duchy first, mind. Oh, I can't create the duchy of... Maybe I don't control enough of it? Or does someone else... Maybe someone else still controls the duchy of Hijaz.
You don't have enough money.
That too. Yeah, okay. Oh, yes, yes. Of course, we had the... I cannot afford it, yes.
Maybe anything else. Just sort of-
There is currently a Duke of Hijaz, or an Emir of Hijaz. The Emir of Hijaz controls something over here. And that's it. None of actual Hijaz.
Bit of a problem with his lifestyles here.
So yes, of course, we did have the fun that all those wars in parallel rather ran Queen Gerhild out of money, and she was basically only surviving on the loot that she got from besieging places, and frequently had to assault settlements just in order to get the loot out of them adequately quickly. So yeah, she can't actually take Medina for a little while, at least not if doing so requires spending any money. So there are now no inappropriate holdings in Queen Gerhild's stock, but she does still have a bit of an excessive domain problem. So basically everything here labelled Jerusalem is currently hers. And she probably wants to make grant Hijaz to the Prince Bishop of Mecca just as soon as she can afford to usurp Hijaz for him. But how are her troop numbers looking now? They're slightly less terrifyingly low, I think. And Medina probably doesn't have much to its name. 1,500. How much do we get just by raising Outre Jourdain? Almost enough. Probably don't get many from there though, so we'd have to bring someone in from up here. That would be enough. Let's dismiss that lot for now, because we should send this lot after that little revolt as well. And being vassal troops, they won't cost us any money to keep raised. They'll just slightly annoy our vassals. Then we can save up to usurp Hijaz. Meanwhile, there's a bunch of battles going on down there between my vassals, I think. Obviously, there'll be a bit of a defensive pact. Oh, the Sheikh of Medina has joined the defensive pact. Well, there's a slight problem that he has one county, so I fear that he may not. That may not save. Being in a defensive pact may not save him. Right. Well, let's deal with the revolt in a few days once our troops are looking happy.
Join the defensive pact with the other one, but still only 2 of those.
Yeah, that revolt didn't last long when it came up against Queen Gerhild. Oh, I think the rebellion may still hold the a holding there. Let's actually besiege back our thing from the rebellion, and thus dismiss that army again. Oh no, the revolt has now evaporated. Right. Oh dear, she's unwell again. Burning up with fever, nose running, head feels as if something's banging someone hard against it. No, that's not the right way round.
When you please kill me, someone doesn't kill that.
Conveniently, no.
You never know with these choices. Oh, it's a good monarchy.
Oh, hang on, we have to dismiss these troops before we can Stoats declare war. So I wonder who is currently in that defensive pact. I mean, a moderate number of nearby people. Let's have a look at it on a map. Basically all of his neighbours, right. Ooh, he's quite scary.
That's not Cadbury's special, is it?
Maybe we won't go to war with them just now. Maybe we'll just sit around a bit until we have some more money. Oh, I put my steward back to building things, didn't I? Oh well. Let's do some more organising then. We were out of commanders again. Or one commander short again. We're down a siege leader. Siege. Search everywhere. Sort by that. But only people who are willing to join my court. Ah, Sigismund, mad maths marshal of Gardia. 20 martial skill and is a siege leader. Well, we'll have him then.
I suppose that's probably not too unuseful in the sieges, depending on those trajectories of catapults.
Also logistics.
Yes.
Yes, although that's some adding up and some not forgetting about things. I'm not sure that position's great about the latter.
Well, I'm thinking, sort of Max Cutman flow, knapsack problem.
Max Cutman flow, yes, that goes with the greatest common multiple.
Whatever.
So, where was I? Oh yes, I was going, is there anything else I need to work on? I'll sort out my titles in a bit, once I've got some money. Oh yes, on which subject? We appear to need a new seneschal. I've got only just appointed a seneschal. Oh, oh dear, you really don't like me. Apparently I can't grant you any interesting titles. You like me even less. But you've already got an honorary title. I'm pretty sure Seaward has an honorary title, yes. There we go. Right, we're still waiting for our new guy to turn up, aren't we? There he is.
prisoners you can ransom for pay?
Don't think so. I only got one prisoner and he's not popular. No interest in Muzaffar. The only significant faction we had has disbanded, which is nice. How's our garden growing? It's about halfway through, 57% of the way through phase 2. I'm sure that just as we get a claim on Dhofar, I will discover that someone has marched into it and invaded it, probably the Najadids. Duchess Euphrasia of Opsikion is trying to usurp my title. Her Chancellor, Count Maximus of Maximos of Nicaea, is supposedly travelling around Antioch, trying to find both documents and supporters to help him legitimise a claim on the title. So we could have Count Maximos assassinated. Maybe. We could wave 50 gold at him. Not right now. Or we could just let her try. Yeah, I don't think at the military level she isn't much of a problem. I'm a bit more worried about her liege. Oh, let's make him disappear, maybe. Excellent. Cleanly assassinated. Splot.
I think if I were cleanly assassinated something, one noise it would not make would be splot. That's definitely a messy sound.
The African army is right. Oh, I do feel. Oh, it's the Knights Hospitaller. It's not the. It's not the Templars for once. The Templars, having founded 2 castles in the Kingdom of Jerusalem and had both of them taken off them by their hosts. Apparently, the Hospitallers have decided to join in. So, humbly asked, in the county of Arca, where's Arca then? Not to be confused with Acre. Yeah, we should buy. All right, they're trying to set up a new castle there. How are you going to fit it in? I don't see why I would ever say no. Yes, please establish a castle in Arca, if you can work out how. Crack des Chevaliers!
I'm interested by Patrick's question as well. Does making an attempt to usurp and disappear not count as a murder in the...
I think it might have done, but no one knew, so meh. Castle of Crack des Chevaliers! The Knights of St. John have established a new holding in the county of Arca. Permission to settle there was granted to them by the noble Queen Gerhild of Jerusalem. The mighty castle will henceforth be known as Crack des Chevaliers. I really am a good Christian. 16,000 prestige in total now. And yes, that seems to have added an extra holding slot to the county, so that's nice. We have the barony of Crac des Chevaliers, controlled by the Knights Hospitaller. I mean, strictly controlled by the Grand Master of the Knights Hospitaller. I think, yes. Oh, hang on. No, it was founded in the correct place, yes. So, like that, even if we take it off them later, it's probably helpful to have it there. The Yazidi heresy has spread to Azaka. This ugly weed, if only we could understand what this heresy was, must be rooted out. Yeah, but I'm not sure we really care whether you're a heretical Muslim or a non-heretical Muslim.
Maybe it affects the other units of your court captain.
Swain, Grandmaster of the Knights Hospitaller, has joined the defensive pact against me. Thank you.
I just gave you a castle.
Pink Beast asks if this is the Zebedee heresy. I don't think it was Zebedee.
Zahidi? Yeah. Yazidi.
I'll work out what character. It's Azaka. Yazidi heresy. If I zoom out a bit, you'll be able to read it on the map. There. Only you can't see the first letter. Yes, what's the Italian army doing marching through there?
They're lost.
They're heading for Abyssinia, I know.
Dear.
Because somewhat earlier than in our history, Italia is occupying bits of Abyssinia. Okay, the Hijazi army is actually like here, apparently. The peasants have revolted in Al Mafraq. I thought I just squished a peasant revolt in there, up somewhere near there. Illness has passed. Good. Might be a big enough army if we stick some really good commanders at the head of it. And wait a bit for their morale to charge up. Oh yes, she does have Desert Expert, so she should be pretty effective.
It's nice you don't get too hot in that one.
Okay, her centre is actually going to get broken, but I don't think that'll matter. It was only barely a big enough army. Oh, I think that's my court chaplain who's now in the wrong place. Let's send him to Azaka to try to fix that. things seem to have settled down a bit now. What's our sub-realms looking like? We have a rather large, like Ascalon and Outre-Jourdain and Galilee. And then, yes, I think those two counties are still controlled by directly by Gerhild, as are those two, which is kind of sensible. And this bit down here, which I want to grant to someone as soon as I have some money to usurp it, assuming I can, though it looked like the guy who might currently own it is at war, so maybe I can't. Inconvenient. How are these guys doing? So they're still at war with the Byzantine Empire, but they're actually starting to make some progress on that. On the other hand, they may not manage to get whatever they're trying to do there. Oh dear, I suspect our steward just died. He was quite old. Find a replacement steward. Well, there's precisely one with stewardship 21, so we'll invite him. So let's time pass a bit more. We now have 100 money. Let's get our new steward in place before we... Hello, steward. I think he probably actually wants to be collecting extra taxes.
How long to go on the second stage of
3 years or so. Currently 62% done on the second stage. So the Outre-Jordanian Holy War for Nafou has ended. Duke Eldhan of Outre-Jourdain lost. Oh dear, how embarrassing. Well, I should probably start a few holy wars there. But not yet. Alright, now I have one title can be usurped. Oh no, one title can be usurped, the Emirate of Arabia. I don't want the Emirate of Arabia, I want the Emirate of Hijaz. Why can't I usurp Hijaz? Because the current Emir is at war. Because he's at war with the Byzantine Empire as part of a large group of Muslims defending against the incursion of the Byzantine Empire into Najadid territory. So I don't think it gains us a lot to usurp Arabia. That merely bumps him down from being Emir of Arabia to being Sheikh of Hail, which is like not very interesting. We're still in a situation where we don't have a casus belli for this guy. Yes, there's declare war, and it says we have no casus belli. Probably do for the Najadids, but that would be a bit scary. Like, that would definitely be a useful thing, holy warring Mudar, but so many Italians marching through our territory. But I think we want to get this lot first, and only then think about trying to get the Najadids out of the way. So where's the de jure Duchy of Arabia then? Alright, de jure is that patch. Now, let's let Outre-Jourdain usurp that with his own money if he wants it. So I quite like everyone to calm down a bit about how much I've been using their troops as well.
What was that mean? I can set you up there. So, I assume that there's no prospect of a crusade for a while. Of course, even if you're not in a position to take first.
Oh, ill again. She is rather prone to illness, is Gerhild. Next crusade is in about a decade.
Because the thing is, I mean, there's still a great source of cash, even if you don't get yourself in a crusade.
Though I had thought Abdul Azim to be a reasonable man, his request to be allowed to duel his rival was slightly erratic. Abdul Azim claimed to be constantly subject to affronts from his rival and asked for permission to defend his honour. So Abdul Azim is just Abdul Azim ibn Fayez is just a random courtier of mine. And so we have three options, none of which seems particularly relevant to anything. I think she'll allow it because she would do it. We might want to do something about this. We have a slightly strong elective succession in Syria faction. I don't want elective succession in Syria. I think we should dispatch our spy master to discourage one of them. Probably the Duke of Ascalon. Our marshal's not doing anything, we should fix that. So we can research military tech for a bit, because I don't think we can actually afford to run our domain army anyway. So the defensive pact, Muslim defensive pact, is basically these three. So that's 2,000 troops there, 17,000 troops. Is he like? If he controls that one county, how the hell does he have 17,000 troops? 17,000 money. I'm looking at the wrong row. 504 troops.
Okay, that's not like it.
I mean, admittedly, 17,000 money can be converted into quite a lot of troops. Also, is there any way I can get that money off him? Like, I would quite like that. And 2,000 troops. So we don't actually need very much to take on the whole defensive pact. Even though we would have to do it like one county at a time. So I'm kind of inclined to bring in some vassal armies and just go after Hail, Emir of Arabia. Partly just to see what he does with those 17,000 money. Go on. Okay, that's not a useful army. That is. So is that. Excellent. Acre is now majority Catholic. Has he just hired 4,000 troops? Yes, 5,000 troops. For all the good it'll do him. But maybe we want to bring in some more then. No, not like that. Yeah, that'll help. Let's make sure that one has a an organizer so they can get there reasonably quickly. Maybe I should just grant the Prince What's name of Mecca the various neighbouring counties. Not sure. Yeah, it doesn't really help that our truce with the guy from the Banalfarat Kingdom is expiring. He's got no land. They're apparently besieging Mecca, the nuisances. I mean, I can kind of see why you'd do that, because it's oh! Right, let me just check that the Najadids haven't yet invaded Dhofar. They haven't. Right, let's have a claim on Dhofar. Let's then send this guy to sow dissent in Sinai. I'm sure that will help. Because, well, I'd like... ideally, Sinai would suddenly declare independence from Africa and then we'd invade them. Right, not ill again. Can go back to licking faces. I mean, it's quite difficult in that mask. Oh, your righteous struggle against the heathens has not gone unnoticed. Well, yes, I have been engaged in quite a lot of holy wars. I have dispatched a papal emissary with sufficient funds to assist you. Thank you, 260 gold. Now, if only we can work out how to get 17,000 gold out of this guy. Well, okay, slightly less now. Because he spent... No, it's still 17k. So I'm wondering... Oh, right, excellent. Someone's coming to attack me. That should be fine. We're in the desert. We're led by Queen Thingy Gerhild. We have two excellent commanders on the sides. Duke Athelwyn of Tripoli has declared Tripolitanian Hospital de jure holding war over Baalbek. So not Crac de Chevalier, because that's in my county. But it really doesn't. If you set up your holy order in Jerusalem, you do seem to have a fairly good chance of getting driven out of it, out of your castle, by the locals who change their minds.
This is tradition.
Right, now, what I want is to take the leader hostage. Because I'm sure he could pay a really handsome ransom, as it were. So, Battle of Hail, you've won. We have a prisoner, but we can only ransom him for 10 gold, which is not very helpful.
I suppose they were too determined for you to use the prisoner as a leader to like actually start fighting.
He's not important enough for that. For a prisoner to be of use in like determining the outcome of a war, they need to be either the actual defender or the or a close relative thereof. There is a ruler, but is it Yassar who's this guy? No, that's a different neighbouring ruler. Second Battle of Hail, also a victory. Let us continue besieging. Oh dear, King Philibert has died of being ill at only 43. And so Queen Gerhild is in need of a husband again. I mean, so that's only offering me courtiers. Surely I can, like, find someone who wants to join my court. So I probably do need that left to leave that set to men and join court. Yes, and then go like I mean, I'm weak in diplomacy, really. Oh my goodness, he's good. And I don't have a chancellor. Maybe I should just invite this guy, marry him, and make him my chancellor.
Well, then you can't get the chancellor bonus and the husband bonus.
True.
So what you want to do is
Invite two people, marry one of them, and make the other one chancellor.
That's right.
Okay, but the one who wants to get married would be a less good husband.
Oh, it's not very important.
No.
'Cause
Let's invite Goran as a husband and Vitenis as a chancellor then. I didn't check that he wasn't married already, of course. I mean, yes, I could probably have his wife murdered, but... Sadly, you don't get a button for arrange someone else's divorce. Right, let's try again. We'll keep this guy around. He might be useful for something. Married? No. See if there's anyone who's reasonably well balanced. Oh, he looks rather nice. 17, 14, 13, 11, 9. And he's not even a genius. And he's apparently unmarried. And he's even a Catholic. So meanwhile, we have 91% war score. But this is right, it actually has 2 castles in it, this county. Right. I mean, minus 300 prestige, but I think someone with 10,000 prestige can cope with losing 300 to get a good husband. Welcome, King Idley. Oh, he looks much better now. He's got a proper hat on. King Idli of Jerusalem. Right, we now have 100% war score. So, what's going to happen to him now? Have a look. So he is now just Majid ibn Nuradin and has moved to Medina. He will not join my court because I have a false religion. Just wondering if I could work out a way to get him to come so that I can steal his 16.9 thousand gold. But maybe I just need to invade Medina and hope to imprison him. Meanwhile, we have to dismiss that lot before we do anything more. The defensive pact is a bit smaller now because someone's just denuded one of the members of all their land. Where's the Emirate of Gilan, I wonder? Nowhere near here, anyway. Oh right, it's that little enclave in the Byzantine Empire. Oh, there's a Byzantine revolt. Is it an interesting Byzantine revolt? It might be. Well, let's not try to deal with it, take advantage of it just now. It's going to be a stupidly unbalanced army, isn't it? Yes. I need to bring in someone else just to balance the army a bit. What are you doing, Usha Jourdain? Oh right, the boundaries are a bit odd. Athelwyn has... Duke Athelwyn of Tripoli has usurped the title Barony of Crac des Chevaliers from Grandmaster Swain the Wise.
So it's a Knights Hospital at Castle that now is not run by the Knights Hospital.
No, this keeps happening. The Holy Orders build a new castle and then the locals steal it off them. Repeatedly. Crac des Chevaliers, now controlled by the Duke of Tripoli.
I mean, nice trying, right?
Sorry, your Holy Order is in another castle. It will be, though. When it gets around to building one.
It's still a slightly unbalanced army. The defenders of Khyber are having fun, though. Actually, let's head over there. Baroness Magistros of Beorea, the new Magistros of Beorea, has bribed and threatened his way... Oh no, it's a different person. Through my domain, trying to get enough people to recognise a claim on my title that he has fabricated for his liege, Count Kyrillos of Beorea. They'd better not use it. He now has a strong claim on the county of Antioch. Well, decided to go and use a claim. Well, how is he going to use it anyway? Oh, we have a new count of
Count to 3 and lob it in your general direction.
a new count of acre. That's nice. He hates me. Yeah, I'll get more popular once I've disposed of some more of my domain, which I really should. That's right. Now we could create the Duchy of Arabia because we destroyed it by kicking someone out of it. Is he still there, here in Medina? Forgotten his name, of course. Probably one of the more recent arrivals. So. So Majid ibn Nur-ad-Din Banu Farhat is still kicking around in the Medinan court. Mute. So I can kind of hope that we might manage to capture him. Not sure how this horrifically unbalanced army is going to work, but we'll see. Well, that army has managed to randomly run into the Negevian army, which it will beat, but it'll take some casualties in the process. And then we'll stomp in afterwards and clean up the mess. This might be a bit more of a challenge, being in mountains. I hadn't noticed that Medina was mountainous. However, having Queen Gerhild at the head of your army is pretty effective. Oh, we have a new Duke of Galilee as well, Duchess Saxburgh of Galilee. Must deal with the size of my domain. It's making all my vassals hate me. But let's take Medina first. To Cuba. This may not be a helpful answer, Pink Beast. Oops, I wonder what that other message was. Oh well. Right, so all that lot are fairly low fort levels, and so can be pushed over reasonably quickly. Blazer Lockhart, the spy master of York, seeks to kill Duchess Saxborough of Galilee. I can't ask her to stop plotting to kill the Duchess of Galilee because she's too far away, being as she is in York. Sorry, I think maybe that should be pronounced Bladger. B-L-J-A. She is Anglo-Saxon.
Long or short? Long S or short ash?
I don't know.
Does it have a diacritic over it?
No, but nothing does, mostly.
Yeah.
Right, even besieging the cities is going to take a little while. But, like, we have an adequacy of war score here. So, I think we should get an alert when we can usurp Hijaz. Presumably the Duke is still in a... Oh dear, the peasants are arming themselves, we might be in trouble. Are you complaining that I have heretical Muslims in my territory? Or is Antioch something more complicated? Oh, okay, no, there's a bunch of monothelitism up there. So she can gain a small amount of piety. She can afford the piety. Let's not unnecessarily anger the locals. Peasants have revolted in Bostra. We have managed to take somewhere else there while I wasn't paying attention. Now besieging Medina proper. looking for my incredibly rich former duke. Maybe I should actually mark him as someone I want to watch. Damn it, the besiegers keep inflicting heavy casualties on my... well, the defenders keep inflicting heavy casualties on my army. Let's assault what's left. Oh, we have 100% war score. Excellent. Someone else wants to kill Duchess Saxborough of Galilee. So ideally I would make this guy Duke of Hijaz, except I still can't usurp Hijaz. Pinkby suggests that maybe the Duchess of Galilee is just really unlikable. Rose gregarious, humble, greedy, diligent. I mean, to be fair, Queen Gairhild doesn't much like her because she's a foreigner and Rose. So, so I have got the Duchy of Arabia that I can create, though that's de jure up here, and so really within the realm of what's the name of Outre Jourdain. What's the next duchy? Then there's Nefud, which is... if we took those two, we would then be able to do something with it. Probably because that would destroy it. So we could go after them next. I think what I should do in order to reduce my what's name a little bit, to at least grant him Medina. Makes things slightly less terrifying. And then, like, I suppose I could just grant him more counties until I get told I'm not allowed to grant him any more. So that one, that's Asir. thing is, all the others are like... Ideally, we'd want him to appoint people into them. Maybe not. Thing is, all of this is just Deja Hijaz, isn't it? Yes. I mean, I could stick someone into the Duchy of Can I? Do I actually? I can create the Duchy of Antioch, can't I? How do you even get the right to evict them from Character Chevalier? That's in my territory, my county. I know the Duchy doesn't exist, and I'm the Queen. It's kind of odd. So what else is in my domain? It's quite a lot of stuff, isn't it? Right. So yes, we control the we have the Duchy of Jerusalem, though it's mostly not domain. And then yes, we have that odd bit up there, which is kind of silly, and we should put someone else in there. Oh yeah, we wanted to look at that Holy Roman Byzantine revolt, didn't we? Can I find a good Di Spoleto just to invite over and make Duke of Antioch, or probably a count up there and let him pay for it? Someone or him, probably has to be him, doesn't it? I can't appoint random women to things even though we've got the right kind of succession, can I? Let's just pick a courtier as an experiment. Oh, I can. Oh. Right. Well, I mean, I'm not quite sure what I'm sorting by here, but this Valpurga, who's at the top of the list, looks like a really rather nice person to appoint as a, like, convenient duchess. Why can I not invite her to join my court, then? Is she in a... Bash, she's married to someone. Who's she married to? Will he join my court? No. Because he rather likes his liege. Yeah. He likes his liege to the tune of 52. We only need to get a win of 30 over him. He's already plus 51. I reckon we might be able to get him if we spend some money. Then he'll bring his wife, and then we can make his wife Duchess. Maybe. No, sadly, despite that, it's not quite enough, even though his opinion of us is now plus 100. Well, that's pity. I went, oh, we could invite... No, we can't invite Adalberto. That will not help. Set join court, yes. Well, Adelheid Di Spoleto looks like she might be quite fun. I mean, she's nowhere near Valpurga, but she will, on the other hand, actually capable of joining my court. David points out that I could just murder Romanos. And yet, technically, that's a way to get someone away from her husband. You can't get much plot power against him, though. So yes, we can just grant her the county of Antioch. I mean, she's not that brilliant compared to Walpurga. I'm quite impressed by how bad she is, given that she's a genius. Still, yes. Let us, therefore, create the Duchy of Antioch.
Rules out. Apparently, so many have got to sleep. Not enough.
Then grant it to Adelheid. Have fun. Right. That's done something for my insanely over the my domain limit problem. I'm now only slightly over my domain limit. No, you can't have the Kingdom of Syria. This also means I can land random female claimants to things, which might be quite helpful. But meanwhile, I'd like to get rid of some more land if possible, but to get back properly under my domain limit. Maybe I should just grant a county to someone reasonably sensible. Like, you know, my marshal or some such. Just grant him the county of Asir. Think. No, because then if we give him a county that's in a duchy we plan to create, that will be unfortunate, because then he'll cease being my direct vassal. So it should be a county, ideally in a duchy that that doesn't exist and that we don't plan to create. So like Damashq is not currently looking like a county we would want to create. But so which other counties do I now hold? So there's those couple there and that one, and then basically all of this lot. So it is all just if we're going to grant these to anyone, we want to grant them to someone who isn't. Let's just carry on with the looking for random people who will join our court. I mean, hang on, there's Gerberga, Princess of Swabia, who is, like, terrifying. She is 64 years old. And her daughter's useless. So maybe we shouldn't bring her in. There's another Gerberga who is not quite so interesting. Hermann, oh, he looks alright. I think I'd accidentally scrolled the list down slightly when I switched the settings, and so didn't see the best military minds at my disposal. Which one of these counties should we give him? It doesn't really matter, does it? Let's grant him Asir then. I still like the look of Gerberga, but we need to, like, make sure that the county in question has a elective succession or something, so that her daughter doesn't end up there. All right, he's married to Adelaide of Antioch. Well, that's fine. Quite like that guy, actually. Kind of tempted to grant him whatever that one is, something beginning with T, isn't it? Tihama. Right, now I'm back under my domain limit. Now we have so many culture points that we really ought to spend some. I usually go for tolerance. I mean, with enough legalism we might get some decent tax raising powers at the expense of pissing off vassals even further. Let's gratuitously pump up the tolerance. Right, so Jerusalem is now back below domain limit for the first time in ages. That should seriously cheer up my vassals. So where's my... He was dealing with Aloito, wasn't he? My spy master. Yes. We have an idle chancellor. So he should probably be sowing dissent in Sinai. We should see how scary the Byzantine revolt is. Quite. And we don't currently have a casus belli against it. What a pity. I mean, it doesn't really... I don't think it controls any territory we want, does it? Does it? It does. We do actually want that patch there. That one county. We can get ourselves a claimant to it. She only has a weak claim on the county of Erbil, though. And, like, I don't think we can press a weak claim against him. Rather annoyingly. So maybe she's not actually worth having. And similarly, we can't find any good claimants on the Duchy of Cappadocia. So we have a claim against this guy, distant though he is. And of course we have a holy war available against the Chiamids. It looks like the defensive pact against us is slowly edging eastwards or something like that. Okay, no, the defensive pact against us consists of these two random fragments up here that we're not going anywhere near. That's probably not much of a problem. So the Najadids are still fairly scary. They are now succeeding in beating the Holy Roman Empire, which is good. So I'm kind of inclined not to invade the Najadids, merely because I want them to win against the Byzantine Empire. Ziadids are a lot softer. Don't want Afar. Do want Sana and Taiz, and would start with Taiz. So sadly we didn't actually go after the Najadids at all, slightly, unfortunately. What is Queen Adalberta up to? I mean, her personal combat skill is finally dropping off because she's 71. She's still pretty scary, mind. Yes, I Najadidn't, as Claire points out. She's not at war with anyone at the moment. Well, I mean, allegedly, except that Gomez is off leading troops, so maybe there's something going on. But still, oops, it's fairly late now. That wasn't the button I meant. So we should probably wind up for the night. Only a couple of years until Gethsemane reaches level 2. And then, yes, Queen Gerhild has quite a lot of things she could invade. I think she should save the Najadids for a bit, largely because she wants to make sure because she wants to avoid going to war with the Byzantine Empire herself, and so ideally the Byzantine Empire wouldn't take any land off the Najadids, so she wants the Najadids to win that war, and so she doesn't want to distract them from it. But the Ziadids would be fine, and the Qayamids would be fine, and the random little Sheikhdom of Dhofar would be fine. And she might want to take that before the Najadids push into it from the other side. So possibly Dhofar should actually be the first priority, though it's not like the Najadids couldn't try to invade the Qayamids as well. Should probably afford to do both. But that's all for later. Oh, while we're paying attention to geography, what's going on up here? Scotland still has 2 counties left, only I think they're independent of one another now. I think Scotland as an entity no longer exists, and we just have 3 independent counties kicking around, and all else is England. Not much else of interest seems to be going on yet. So, I think snoozing time. So, having had a look around and gone, well, there's not much really interesting to do, but there are lots of little things she can be getting on with next time. I will say good night. Excuse me, I've lost the button I meant to press now. Here it is. Good night.